I'm telling you, by the end of this cross-examination of Colonel Chris Mangena, the famous, or should I say now infamous, ballistic expert in the Oscar Pistorius case that was of 2015. Okay? Now, I received this comment and I thought it was absolutely thought provoking that I must bring it to you, members of the jury, okay, the public, okay, layman terms. Let's learn a thing or two about what? Being a ballistic expert in Dondoni, okay? What do we know about Chris Mangena so far? We know he was FBI trained. We know he's worked for the South African Police Services for over 30 years. So we cannot fight with his experience in terms of tenure and years served, okay? We know he's a colonel. And we also know that he also holds a diploma in policing from UNISA. Okay, those are some of the things that he brought within his affidavit that are on record within the court. However, after being cross-examined by Ungomezulu, Uramsipili, and now still being cross-examined by Umnisi, by the way, who just got so fed up with this incompetent ballistic expert who doesn't understand that, science is an art, okay? Is an art of precision, accuracy, and science is an art of consistency, precision, and accuracy. Okay, but so he went out shopping. I'm not sure if he called the Checker 60 app, okay, or he decided to walk all the way to buy. I think he went to Builders. Maybe he went to Builders. And he got the things that make the precision precise, okay? The things that the boys in the woodworks classes were using during my time in school. I don't know what Nisi is planning to do with that, but we have to stay tuned for Monday to find out. But this comment says, it is unlawful for the ballistic expert to both reconstruct a crime scene and also test the evidence he himself gathered. Now, which crime scene did he reconstruct? You're wondering. It is the one over there by the Spaza house, by the Kelly Kumalo house. Okay, if we know what we do know, and that what we know that is on record. Let me pull out my timesheet. Let me pull out my timeline, because if there's one thing I have, it is Mangena'S timeline. It's pretty interesting. Okay, so Senzo Meyiwa was shot and killed on the 26th of October 2014, and that was a Sunday, a very, very, very rainy Sunday. May his soul rest in peace. Sergeant Musia at the time went over, and he was the forensic expert. We see him in the Netflix documentary where he walks in and is carrying a briefcase and he's wearing blue gloves. That is Musia, okay? He's the forensic in Dondoni who saw Kelly Kumalo and said, "Oh my God, I can't believe I'm seeing her in the flesh." Forgot his role, his responsibilities. Did he secure the crime scene? In my humble opinion, absolutely not. How could he possibly secure the crime scene? There were generals who were present at the Spaza house at midnight. Not only generals, but also the MEC of Gauteng. You know what? I digress. Let's keep this comment going. Oh, so Mangena showed up. Okay, Mangena showed up the next day, and Musia handed him the 2 bullets and the rest of the swabs and dondonis that he got. From where? From the crime scene. Okay, Mangena is there physically at the crime scene, and somehow he's reconstructing it as well. So how is he the one who reconstructs and then is the same person who tests? So this comment is implying, of course, you're going to reconstruct it and test it and make it suit your reconstruction, because otherwise you're going to be labeled a fool. Don't know what you're doing. So I think that is correct. There should have been checks in place for that. The person who does the reconstruction is not the one who does the testing. But let's keep reading because it's a long comment. But like I said, it's thought-provoking, worth being put on the record right here at Mzansi Unfiltered. Make sure you drop a like, okay? Make sure you drop a like. So the comment goes on to say, no, it is not lawful for a ballistic expert to both reconstruct a crime scene and test the evidence they gathered themselves. Did you really gather the evidence? Or did you place the evidence so that you can say you gathered the evidence? Okay, let's keep going. This would be a clear conflict of interest and undermine the integrity of the forensic process. Let me save you the thought of rewinding this. I'm going to repeat it again. This would be a clear conflict of interest and undermine the integrity of the forensic process. And the comment continues and says, some key reasons why this is problematic. A ballistics expert should avoid expressing opinions outside their expertise. Wing! I feel I gotta play that sound because how many times has Colonel Mangena expressed his opinion? We know he knows that this was a high-profile case at that time. Clearly, there's generals and MECs here, and Kelly Kumalo, okay? And it was the national goalkeeper. He's fully aware. And for some reason, Chikotwala is all up in the mix of things, and now he's testing Chikotwala's gun. You see what I'm saying? Contaminated. He was already contaminated. His opinions was all over everything. Goes on to say, constructing a crime scene requires... Reconstructing a crime scene requires knowledge of wound anatomy and pathology that goes beyond typical ballistics expertise. Oh my God. He does talk about it in his affidavit that he went to, I think it was on, which day did he go? He did go to check out, he did go to see Senzomewa's body. And that's where he saw the wound, and that's where he saw and measured, okay, that the entrance wound was through the front of the chest and that the bullet came out through the back of the chest and lower, okay. He did go that. Is he an expert in wound anatomy and pathology? I would say he does talk in detail about this because that's how he talks about this was a close contact shot. And then because the gun was pressed against the skin, when the shot was fired, the bullet went through Senzomewa, through the tissue. I think there was powder that was also there. No, powder was outside the skin, showing that this was a close contact wound. If it was not a close contact shot, the powder would be inside the wound. Those are some of the things he spoke about. Yeah. Let's continue reading. Proper forensic photography requires the camera to be perpendicular to the object being photographed. If the ballistics expert takes distorted photos during evidence collection, it can lead to flawed reconstructions later on. Okay? Ballistics evidence should be handled by a crime scene technician, not, okay, I repeat, not the ballistic expert who will analyze it. There we go. This ensures the integrity of the chain of custody. We already know Colonel Mangena loved to be doing tour of duty, okay? He's touring of duty. He's going to all the prisons. He's measuring accused number one for his height, shoulder height, and also elbow height. He's personally doing that himself. And I love this comment because it confirms why was he doing it. And I did get a comment before. Why is a ballistic expert going around measuring people? Why isn't a warrant officer doing that? So the comment goes on to say, where did I stop? Ballistic. Okay, let's try this one more time because the English is not Englishing on this Sunday. Ballistics experts should be objective, independent experts who provide a check and balance on evidence. Allowing them to both collect and analyze evidence removes this critical independence. Okay? Continues on to say, courts have increasingly questioned the reliability of ballistics evidence when experts make claims of absolute certainty about which firearm was used. And we already know one ballistic expert who seems firm on the idea that it was a 9mm. He's so firm on that idea that he says, what? Just because The eyewitnesses inside the Spaza house, that's Kelly Kumalo, Tumelo, Mtoro, Longwetwala, Zandi Kumalo, all those people who are eyewitnesses, just because they saw a gun with the wheel, aka a 38mm special revolver, does not mean that was the only gun that the intruders brought in, okay? That was the first time we heard that theory since 2014, that there was another gun on the scene that none of the eyewitnesses saw, okay? So I think like the intruder had another gun in his pocket, and when he came in and said, cell phones and money on the table, he was flashing the revolver. That's what they all saw. And then when it came time to shoot, he pulled out the other gun, because this guy is both left-handed and right-handed. He can shoot with either hand. And then he says, he pulls out the 9mm, and the 9mm is the one that shot and killed Senzo Miwa. That is the theory the ballistic expert is presenting us with. Not only is he presenting us with the nkanegwane of a theory, he's also coming through with that the bullet was a boomerang, okay? It went through Senzo Miwa, hit the door just a little bit, okay, that there were chips that fell down, and then it went outside, and then that bullet turned right back in, okay? That bullet is a magnificent bullet. It turned back and it came back in the house, and nobody found it the day before, and then the bullet sat nice and neatly in between the bulletproof glasses. I mean, this is incredible, and this is what happens when there's no checks and balances in place. You see, the ballistic expert is now he's not recreating the crime scene, he's creating the crime scene, okay? And then he's bringing you the evidence that he's going to create in the lab. We heard him say he turns the bullet in under the microscope until he sees the lines. Okay. Woo! It's a lot. Okay, guningi. But let's keep going on. In summary, okay, while ballistics experts play a vital role in crime scene analysis, their role should be limited to objective analysis of evidence collected by others. Amen. Can I get an amen in the comment section? Okay. Because in the Ballistic Expert 101, I agree with that. Allowing them to control the entire process from collection to reconstruction is a clear conflict of interest that compromises the integrity of the forensic process and the reliability of the evidence. Now, somebody tag Senzo Mngunu, okay, the brand new Minister of Police Services. Can he please gather here in our comment section? Somebody send this video over. Somebody share this video, okay? Please share this video. Share it to Twitter. Share it to TikTok. Make sure that it is out there, because we don't understand how a ballistic expert working for the South African Police Services stands in a court of law in the High Court and says he reconstructed the crime scene, he analyzed under the microscope the bullet and the firearm, he went to Cleveland police station to pick up the firearm, he drove with the firearm without any indemnity form that allows him to be driving around with an unlicensed gun, but because he's a policeman, he won't get arrested. Do you see it? Do you want to count the he's that I'm using? Let's keep going. And he is the one who went to go and measure Muzisivia's height, okay, shoulder height as well as elbow height, and then he went again to measure Ubongani Ntanzi, okay, his height and shoulder height and elbow height, and he measured who? Accused number 3. And once he got to accused number 3, he had the bright idea to say, wait a minute, I need an extra check and balance here. Can you take off your shoes and socks? And he looked at accused number 3's feet to see if there were any, fragments or scars from the fragment that happened on the bullet that shot at the 90. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? Drop a 1 in the comment section if you're understanding what I'm saying to you. Okay, let's keep going. He is the same. I don't know that the South African Police Services is so understaffed that only one person can carry out all these tasks under, of course, the instruction of Brigadier Kininda, according to his version of how things went. Let's keep going. We didn't just stop at number 3. He doesn't stop at number 3. He goes all the way to number 4. He gets to number 4. He gets his measurements. He gets him to take off his socks. There's nothing on the feet, no scars. We keep it moving because he is a determined ballistic expert. He gets to number 5, and number 5 says, "Don't you dare touch me. I do not consent to this nonsense. Where is the court order that says you can get my height and ask me to take off my shoes and socks? Let me go back to my cell. I need to continue to serve my 6 consecutive life sentences. I have no time for your nonsense." What did you say your name was? Oh, Colonel Chris Mangena. No, I don't consent to this because my legal representation is Umshololo and she's queen, okay? She's Mboroto. She does not take nonsense. She already told me when I was at Boksburg Magistrate Court, don't give them your fingerprints a second time. Now you're trying to get my height? I do not, okay? I do not give permission for this process to happen. To date, right up to date right now, the ballistic expert is still trying to assess accused number 5's height because it is not on the record before the court. Okay? But he doesn't stop there. You know, our ballistic expert works overtime, or Chris Mangena. He works really hard, especially after the Oscar Pistorius case, where he's now known internationally, okay, for his renowned evidence given in the very easy case because Oscar already said he pulled the trigger and the gun is his. But I digress. What is the next thing this ballistic expert does? He proceeds, okay? He proceeds to go about his business and he goes back to Cleveland and tests the Cleveland gun. But when he gets there, the Cleveland gun is in an open, sealed bag. That means absolutely nothing to him. He still proceeds to take that gun, takes it to his office, his lab, gets to his lab, and what does he do? He tests the bullets, okay? The original bullet by Officer Ruloff, okay, who did the original ballistic expert, or the original ballistic analysis when accused number 3 was arrested for being found in possession of ammunition and a firearm. But you know, Mangena, he's the kind of guy who wants to do a lot of testing. So he tests 8 additional bullets, and he compares them with the bullets found at the crime scene at the Senzo Meyiwa trial, the crime scene that he was also at and that he reconstructed. Do you see what I'm saying? So he does this matchy thing under the microscope. He's not bothered to label any of those 8 bullets. It doesn't matter. All he writes in his report is that it's bullet number 5 and bullet number 9 that are a match to what? That are an absolute match to the bullet found at the crime scene at the Spaza house. Now, if you've thought I've said a whole mouthful, I just want to know, let me know in the comment section down below why the South African Services Police have one man doing all this work, all by himself. But if you thought that comment was long, let me tell you what else this comment goes on to say. It doesn't just list a bunch of gibberish, it goes on to give us the citations. The first citation is Dilemmas of Science and Criminal Law. Okay. Second citation, what is a ballistics expert and what do they do? Okay. Next article that was cited, FBS profile, who is Forensic Ballistic Services? Citation number 4, Ballistics Evidence, Maryland Criminal Defense Cases, Forensic Ballistics. You know what? I love this comment because the comment didn't just come with a whole bunch of words and a whole bunch of accusations. The comment then backed it up with citations. Do you know who loves to do that? Judge Rutter himself. He loves to give us those additional comments, okay? Let me read this one more comment for you, which I think ties in really nicely with this one. This comment says, this case will reveal the blatant breaking of protocol in the police force. It is as if no one is being held accountable for not following procedures that safeguard the integrity of the police. There goes that word integrity. We're hearing it again. Judges, in like manner, do not care if procedure was followed or not. Rata accepts these anomalies without question. Oh, yeah. Number 1, the comment goes on to say, exhibits are accepted in open bags. No one is asked to account. Number 2, accused are said to have not been searched during arrest, and Rata says it doesn't matter because Mzansi had his cell phone, remember? Number 3, crime scenes are cleaned and contaminated and no one cares. We're still waiting for Mapiri to come and explain to us that clination that she was so inclined to do. And then the comment ends with, no one bothers to ask themselves the necessity to have protocol in doing processes. It's all about credibility and integrity. Let me know in the comment section down below if you feel Mangena is credible. Was his performance demonstrating integrity and protocols that are required of the South African police services? Thanks so much for watching. If you made it this far in the video, absolutely love it. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on my next upload. If this is your first time dropping into the channel, do make sure you consider subscribing to the channel. Watching from outside the club is quite a lonely place. Come on in, comment, we get to know each other. And of course, to my channel members, thanks for your support. To my channel subscribers, I'm nothing without you. And please remember, house rules, like, comment, subscribe, watch all the ads. We are September 1st. Happy first day of spring. I'll catch you on my next upload. Mzansi Unfiltered, checking out. Catch you on my next upload.
It's my lot, I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
As the court pleases, my lord, I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
If the grooves don't fit, acquit the 5 accused. Mnisi has done a fantastic job proving there was no match.